Manny, Justin, yours truly. Cool.
Is it recording already?
It's already recording, man.
Recording.
The beauty of post-production.
What it is, people.
That's what it is.
Yeah. So we got Manny on the show. Manny hasn't been on the show yet, so Manny Silva, what's up?
What's up, guys?
Or
Thanks for
Manny
having
Beaston.
me.
Yeah, Manny Beaston. That's
Plug in. Hashtag Manny Beaston.
Yep. Twitter, TikTok.
Twitter,
Instagram.
TikTok, and Instagram. I'm pretty sure on... I want to say on Twitter it's Manny Beaston _ because some asshole took Manny Beaston before I got the chance to get it.
Who does that? Who
But
are you?
Who else is Manny
on,
Beaston?
on fucking Instagram and on... Yeah, on my other platforms, I was able to take it right away, and then somebody took it. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, I had this
Like-
one where I was Sal Styles like 87, and that was unavailable, but that's like my thing. So I'm like, who else would take that? So I'm with you.
Yeah, like, how dare you? You didn't come up with that, whoever you are.
Yeah.
It had to be JD Angel _
Yeah, same thing with him.
Yeah.
So what's this hoodie about? You got this quarantine and chill hoodie. Talk to us about it.
Yeah, yo. Shout out to Kirill, the AKA Slut Whisperer. He used to have an Instagram and they shut it down, but he has... Yeah, man. He used to
How many
post-
times did it shut him down?
They shut him down a lot, but
Oh, yeah.
he posts some shit that I don't necessarily agree with, but for the most part, it's funny. I mean, you just can't follow him if you're sensitive. And if you are going to be
Accurate.
sensitive, shut the fuck up. That's all I got to say. I mean, this guy throws parties, he goes out, he always makes fun of himself for having a tiny penis. Justin, you can relate.
Oh, me and him would be great friends.
And he has a really hot girlfriend that he's always making fun of on his platform. And it's
And
just...
she just takes it.
For example, yeah, I guess his significant other is on a band or something. She has her own band. She's a lead singer. But like
I can see that.
but like, you know what? He's so stupid that I follow him for the dumb shit that he does and the stupid shit that he posts. Like I said, I don't necessarily agree with it all, but for the most part, I find it funny because I'm not very sensitive. But yeah, like, you know, but yeah, I mean, a lot of the world right now, there's so much going on with people. You know what it is? With social media and the internet now, a lot more people can be vocal about what makes them upset
100%.
versus back then where people, I guess you can't really disagree because a lot of people say, you know what, like in 2020 people are so sensitive. I don't think that's the case, honestly. I think just a lot of people feel like they have a voice now because they can shout it out all over the internet and everybody sees that shit. You put it up there, everybody's gonna see it. Kanye sent his dick pic to one chick and everybody saw it. I didn't see it.
No.
But
But
it
you
was,
can if you want
but
to.
It's out there, bro. Like what can you do about it? But that's literally what it is now. If you get upset and you go online and you go to voice your opinion, everybody sees it. But the reality is now people are going to call you sensitive. I mean, I personally would call you sensitive too, because if it really comes down to what you're talking about, a lot of people like to complain about their day-to-day stuff, like, oh, I'm not happy with my life. Don't go on the internet and complain about it. I mean, if you have a close friend like my boy Sal, I probably complain to him the most out of anybody. But on my social media, do you ever see me complain about anything?
Not really.
No, because I don't like to put my shit out there like that. You're like, yeah, I like to post funny stuff, like shit that makes me laugh, because I don't want to spread negativity necessarily. But I also don't want to be like all I do is spread positivity, because I don't. Like, sometimes I share shit that's hard to look at, like stuff about animals.
Mm-hmm.
Like, somebody could tell me that a little kid got punched and I'll feel bad for that little kid. But if somebody posted a video of a dog, like a little dog getting the shit beat out of it by its owner, I'd be more mad about that.
But it's more like it's what you're trying to do there is the intent. You're not necessarily trying to spread positive vibes or anything like that. I'm vibing with what you're trying to say. Like you're spreading the awareness that these things shouldn't happen. In turn, the intent is like a positive intent. You know?
Yeah,
So I'm with
I mean,
you on that.
I mean, I guess you could say that because a lot of people like to look at life and concentrate a lot on the negatives. And it's not to say you can necessarily ignore all the negatives, but you gotta be realistic. Life is gonna throw a lot of shit at you.
It's gonna happen, absolutely.
And-
But here's the thing too: it's you're in control. Like you are in control of how you react to everything. You know, so if something's gonna happen to you outside of your control, and you want to be mad about it and be negative about it, and then bring other people down around you, like that's on you. But if you want to do the opposite and be thinking to yourself, hey, like, why is this a good thing? Or what did I learn from this? Or how can I be better? What can I do next? Like that's solely on you. Like you can do that. You know?
Yeah, like I have a lot of friends that advocate like for themselves, for things they feel strongly about. I guess you could say now I'm in my 30s and like the things that I like to advocate the most are for like women. And it's a very vague statement to say I advocate for women because it needs to be more specific. So like I have a daughter, she's 4 years old. I want her to be able to grow up and do whatever the fuck she wants. But that's not the reality of the world where I'm on both sides of it because it's hard to think about. So like I recently worked for a company. I'm not going to say their name because I don't feel like getting this monetized or anything like that.
Respect.
But they had released something to us via our work emails and said our goal for the next 5 years is to make 50% of the store managers women. I'm like, I see where you're going with this, where you want to give equal opportunity to women, but instead of saying we're gonna make 50% of store managers women, we should advocate to make sure we're putting the right person in that position, regardless of gender.
Yes.
We're not gonna pick a dude over a chick just because he's a dude. We're gonna pick the right person
because they're the right person.
Correct, because I can definitely say that in my work experience, I've definitely ran into women that are definitely more qualified for the things that I've been doing versus myself. And not to say that I've ever been put in a position where like I've been taken over the female, because I've never been in that place, but I've seen it happen firsthand. So like that's kind of like what my mindset goes towards to as I progressively get older. I want to make sure that I make it fair, but I also want to make sure that assholes aren't being assholes. Don't be a piece of shit to women just because they're women. Like I constantly go on social media, and me and Justin can relate something really big, and we always can talk about sports and be right there with each other because he gets where I'm coming from. Not to say that you don't, but me and Justin specifically are more fair with each other when it comes to like basketball, and Justin knows that I love talking about
100%.
basketball.
Oh yeah,
I love talking about basketball.
You guys mentioned that's the only time you don't make fun of him.
Basically.
And then me and Sal like to talk shit with each other about football, but I don't really have a lot of room to talk because I'm a Jets fan, and my Jets suck. But the one thing that did happen this year is that the Jets beat the Cowboys.
Don't even
You're gonna have to do that for the next 3 years.
I know.
And
I just can't wait till the Cowboys go and stomp on the Jets next time they play.
But it's been like a rough 10 years for me because the last time my Jets were relevant was in 2010, where we had Rex Ryan and motherfucking Mark Sanchez. And who's Mark Sanchez now?
Nobody.
The butt fumble guy.
He's the butt fumble guy.
I'll never forget that. I was watching that game.
What team was he on last? Was he on the Broncos? Like a backup?
Either the Eagles or
He was on the
Broncos.
Cowboys.
I think he was on the Eagles as a backup, honestly.
I remember.
Hey, it's 11-11. Make a wish. But yeah, like me and Justin can relate a lot on basketball. But the one thing that I see a lot, it took me a couple of years to get into, but I remember it was one season where like I was sick and tired of seeing my Knicks get the shit beat out of them. So I just started watching whatever basketball game was on TV, and I started seeing a lot more WNBA games. Mm-hmm. And the biggest argument that a lot of people put up is that the WNBA games don't bring in as much revenue as the males, and that's 100% accurate.
Yeah.
But to say that the games are less exciting, in my opinion, that's incorrect. it's fair to say that that's my personal opinion, but when it comes to the reality of basketball, I'm more into the fundamentals, the skill set that people put through. Because any dude that's like 6'4" and above can dunk a basketball.
Yeah.
Granted, yes, it's hard to drive to the paint and get that fantastic poster. And those posters are great, but they're becoming more and more common. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that they're that rarity anymore. Whereas back in the day, you had dudes like Sean Kemp and Hakeem Olajuwon just dunking on somebody. You had Shaq.
Yeah,
Shaq going hard on somebody. I remember me being a Knicks fan. I remember seeing the videos of Shaq dunking on Patrick Ewing and just pushing him on the floor. Mm-hmm. Like, that stuff happens, bro. But, like, that was the thing back then. Like, basketball was more rough. Basketball was more tough men's mentality. But in today's NBA, you got referees throwing up technicals for everything.
I stopped watching basketball a long time ago, honestly, and it's part of that reason. You know, it's just not as exciting for me, and I don't know. I just kind of fell off that and just started watching football personally. You know, I was back in like the Tracy McGrady and the Penny Hardaway, even further back. You know, when Jordan was still playing with the Bulls and he was with Pippen, you know, like that's when I was watching basketball and I was a kid.
So the one thing with that is basketball has changed and it has become a lot more controlled by rules and fouls, but there's still so much talent out there that just puts me in awe. Like the last 2 years, Luka Doncic has become probably the best. One of the best basketball players in the freaking world. And he's only in his second year.
You know, the value of his rookie card is, like, ridiculously high right now?
Yeah.
I think freaking, what is it? Like, it was like $45 at the beginning. Now it's like over $400, I think.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and you got a lot of people that talk about him and say, you know, how great he is. But not a lot of people like to remember that he was 16 years old on the Real Madrid team when he came to the United States with his Real Madrid team to play the Celtics in they came to play the Summer League, and Luka went off on them back then at 16 years old, and this kid started playing professional basketball at 12 years old. So like he's coming in as a rookie at 19 years old, and this kid's a veteran. Like this kid's a veteran, and he knows all the shit. Like this kid throws up balls. Like he sometimes looks like Steph Curry the year where he was just making everything, and he just throws up obnoxious shots and they just go in.
That was an exciting year.
That was a great year for basketball, and so many people hated it. So many people were hating on it.
Steph Curry is one of my favorite players because he's very skillful. He has a very good skill set.
And that's a very good thing to say, Sal. People hate success for certain people.
Absolutely.
And it's just like
LeBron James, when he first came out, like he was coming straight from high school, I would consider he's getting successful, and people were hating on that too.
Yeah,
you know,
like I was a LeBron hater for a while.
I was a LeBron hater when he went to Miami, and then he went back to Cleveland, and I respected him after that.
I hated LeBron from the moment he got in the league. I didn't like the fact that he was getting so much hype, and looking back at it now, I would have told myself to shut the fuck up because that kid definitely deserves it. That kid was amazing. He was doing obnoxious things, just making the game look easy, like he was playing 2K on easy mode.
And he still is.
And he still is. He's 35 years old, and that dude looks ridiculous. And he does so much for his community. I think that's what really
makes him respectable.
I think that's what really took it over for me, and it's sad to say that that's what it took for me to respect him. But the stuff that he did for his community and the stuff and the way he is with his family as a father, that's what really won me over. And now I'm like pro LeBron, but I'm not a LeBron dick rider like fucking Nick Wright on
ESPN, I think.
ESPN, Fox Sports, whatever he's on. Like that dude is the most ridiculous LeBron dick rider I've ever seen in my life. And then you got Shannon Sharp. Shannon Sharp is ridiculous.
I can't listen to Shannon.
he is as bad as talking about LeBron as I hate hearing Skip Bayless
I was
talk
about to
about
say,
the Cowboys.
And you have Skip
I
Bayless,
was
who's the
gonna bring
exact
that up.
opposite because he hates LeBron.
Yeah,
Does he?
like I don't
Yeah.
think Skip Bayless hates LeBron. I just think he hates the narrative that LeBron is the greatest player of all time.
Yeah, that's probably.
LeBron probably should go down as the greatest all-around basketball player of all time, but when it comes down to like the deadliest basketball players of all time, you gotta. My 1 and 2 is automatically gonna be Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, and like right behind them, if it wasn't for injuries, bro. Fucking Tracy McGrady was right behind them. You got dudes like Allen Iverson. Those dudes had killer
Allen
instincts,
Iverson.
taking over games. Like that's what it was. And I'm not saying that LeBron doesn't do that. I'm just saying that LeBron is a team player and he prefers his team to be successful so that way he doesn't have to carry the entire team. Because if you look back at his first I want to say 8 years in the league, he had to do that. He had to carry his team to the finals, and he was doing it, but he was not winning. So, what did he do? He packed his shit and he went to Miami because he realized if I get on a good team, I'm going to be that it factor where I'm going to make us win a title. And he was able to do it 2 out of 3 years, making it to the finals with the Heat. And that was enough.
With D-Wade?
With D-Wade and Chris Bosh. Yeah, man.
Ray Allen was on there.
Ray Allen was on there. And a lot of people like to say, oh, LeBron won that finals. But let's be real. If Ray Allen would have never made that 3, that series was over.
Crazy game. Yeah, that shot was crazy. I remember that game. And if he lost against the Spurs, he would have only won 1 championship at that point.
Yeah.
Because he only won 2 out of the...
And that's why Kawhi, I feel, is so relevant besides of the fact that he carried... after seeing how the Toronto Raptors played this year so far before the league being shut down due to the coronavirus...
So disappointing.
Yeah, tear.
I don't cry.
The Raptors actually were not doing bad at all. Being the defending NBA champions, I want to say they're right there in the top half of the Eastern Conference.
Aren't they the 3rd or the 4th seed? They're one of the 2.
I wanted to say they were the 3rd or the 4th seed, but I didn't want to look like an asshole on camera.
They won last year?
Yeah.
See, I don't pay attention as much.
Yeah,
I probably knew last year that they
Euro.
won because I was watching it, but at the same time, I just can't remember that was last year.
Yeah, they won.
Because all the years start to mesh.
If Kawhi was still in Toronto, they would probably be a top seed. Even though they're still the Bucks, they would either be the 1st or the 2nd seed still because Kawhi was such a big factor on that.
Giannis still has a lot to prove because he's going through that phase right now that James Harden went through a lot, where James Harden was an animal during the regular season and then he just fell off in the playoffs and he didn't do shit.
And he's still going through that.
Yeah, he's still going through that. I mean, what's ridiculous is that people are debating now that Russell Westbrook is on the Rockets. They're like, is it still James Harden's team or is it Russell Westbrook's team now? And I'm like, I think that's stupid. Russell Westbrook's been there 1 year, and Russell Westbrook is trying to do whatever he can to win.
I still say it's James Harden's team because he's been there the longest, and he's still putting up crazy numbers.
James Harden.
I mean, James Harden's a beast.
He's a great player, man.
He's a beast. So and a lot of people
have a crybaby.
Yeah, he is
definitely a crybaby.
That's another thing that sucks about the NBA. The big superstars can cry all they want and they won't get technicals, and you got some guy that's
stares at the bench and then gets a
I
I forget who that was, but that was stupid.
Wait, what? That's a real thing?
Yeah, that was a real thing.
Oh my god.
I forget which game that was. But
I thought you were being
no.
funny because that's your kind of humor.
I was being funny, but that was an actual thing that happened this year.
Yeah, you got... I was watching a Laker game, and there was a foul called on Danny Green, and Danny Green was like, come on. Literally, that's what he said, come on. And they gave him a technical.
It's what the heck?
How
sensitive can the referees be?
The referees want to make it about them so bad, and nobody gives a fuck that you're there, man. Nobody is going to the NBA to watch you referee the game. Nobody's gonna know your name besides when the commentators say who you are, and that rarely even happens.
Joey Crawford isn't there anymore. That was the only one that everyone knew.
The ref?
Yeah, Joey Crawford was a black dude, right?
I don't even know the ref's name.
No, he was I think it was the white guy.
Really? Fuck.
He was,
I must be mixing up my sports. That sounds familiar.
he had some outrageous calls.
Then, like, one of the referees wrote a book about how he made money by fixing games, and I'm just looking at that like, that's fucked up, bro. Like, you know how many people's careers you've ruined. Like, there are so many Hall of Famers that are in the Hall of Fame that don't have a championship ring, but then you got dudes like Michael Jordan shitting on LeBron because he only has 3 and Kobe had 5. Like, that was like when people would stop comparing for a brief moment LeBron to Michael Jordan, they were debating LeBron to Kobe, and Michael Jordan was like, I mean, Kobe got 5 and LeBron got 3. 5's better than 3.
I thought LeBron had more than 3. Maybe just because I've seen him in the finals so many times.
LeBron went to the finals 8 years in a row.
And
correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure.
No, he won it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he went 8 years in a row. That is ridiculous.
And only came out with 3 rings?
It only came out with 3 rings, yeah.
That's
And he made it to the finals before those 8 times in a row.
The Cavs,
Yeah, with the Cavs.
Yeah.
When they faced the Spurs.
I feel bad for the guy. It's almost like the Buffalo Bills, you know.
That's why
make it to the
now-
Super Bowl all the time and never come out with a ring.
Freaking Bills.
The Buffalo Bills.
That's
Never had a
why.
ring.
Well, they're probably about to be the top of the division this year, so.
It is 2020 right now. It is March of 2020, and the Buffalo Bills still don't have a Super Bowl ring. So if we ever look back on this video and then they happen to win in the future, let's hope they don't, because I'm not a Bills fan by any means. We can laugh. We can laugh.
I'm from the Bronx, and I cheer for all New York teams, even though Buffalo, I guess you're part of New York.
Yeah,
Even the
guess.
XFL. Even the XFL.
Yeah, the New York Guardians, I was all about it. I was following the game, and I liked the way the XFL was doing it. You know, the little sideline interviews right after plays. Like,
that
was driving me so crazy.
I honestly hated it.
Did you hate
I
that?
hated that. Every play.
We laughed every single time they did a play, and that girl interviewer would run out, and she'd be like,
She was like, what is that? And the guy was just like,
He's like,
touchdown. And then he just walked away. Like,
keep playing.
What?
What are you gonna do to come back? Keep playing. Okay, I guess they're gonna keep playing.
And that was like every interview, and I was like, what?
I was like, it's a little much. Maybe they should cut back on the interview.
Every now and again, sure, but.
Yeah, I was pretty disappointed when they announced that they were gonna just cancel the rest of the season.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's your inaugural season, even though this is your second time doing it, and they were taking it so seriously.
Yeah, they were.
To just let this, just cut it out, because, I mean, I guess
I understand.
It might be the right thing to do. I might just be full of shit. It might be the right thing to do because I guess if you think about it, if and when sports are allowed to resume, the NFL is already going to start their preseason, and then for them to still have the XFL going,
Like,
their ratings are going to tank.
Yeah.
Everyone's just gonna be watching it.
At the same time, imagine how they look. You know, like imagine how it's basketball stops, hockey. It's over right now, right? Hockey, yeah. So basketball stops, baseball stops, all the sports stop, and then XFL continues. You know, imagine how they would look.
No, that's not what I meant.
No, I'm changing the subject a little.
Oh,
bit.
okay.
You know, I wasn't trying to spin it off there. I was just saying in a different perspective, imagine how the XFL would seem on a brand wise, you know, or what's the word I'm looking for? So their reputation.
Mm-hmm.
If they stayed open and just stopped, you know.
Yeah, while the Corona thing was going on.
Yeah, I mean that I don't even think that could be a possibility because Vince McMahon is already under enough heat with how bad the WWE is doing. I mean, the writers of the WWE are just retarded
So
at this
bad.
point. It's so bad.
I used to watch wrestling on a weekly basis when I was like a teenager. During the PG era of the time, but the stories were actually pretty good. Like CM Punk versus John Cena, like during that whole feud, that was like the last best feud. Like unless I'm forgetting something, but
Unpopular opinion, I think CM Punk is awful. Go ahead.
but yeah, that's fine. But yeah. So nowadays it's just like they're not even trying anymore. It's all Vince because he's the one that makes the decisions, and he will scrap things right as the show's going and be like, no, change it up and do it this way. Like he doesn't see anything in Ricochet. Ricochet's amazing.
Ricochet is awesome.
Ricochet
There's
is
so
awesome.
much talent. You used to be such a big pro John Cena fan when you were a kid.
Yeah,
You
you
were
told me
such
that,
a
and I
big
was just
John
like,
Cena
was I?
fan. Oh yeah.
And I was like, well, yeah, I'm not
So
surprised.
I liked John Cena a lot more before he did the whole Marine movie. The very first Marine movie, remember he was in that movie. Before he did that, he was all in his thugonomics.
Oh, you were in that
Gimmick.
one?
That
I
was
was
probably when I was.
I was into
yeah.
that John Cena.
No,
No,
'Cause-
that was afterwards.
it was after that.
Because I saw John Cena on his debut. I saw him live come out when Kurt Angle was calling out anybody. John Cena came out. Kurt Angle is like, what trait do you have that makes you think you can battle with the very best? And he said, ruthless aggression. And he just snuffs him in the face. Like, that was the John Cena that I wanted to see. And then he just turned so face. It was just too much.
He became the face of the brand for the longest time. And the beginning of that is when you really liked John Cena, which is not a problem. You know, I just hated
He
the
was
push.
for the kids.
He
And I
was for
was
the
a
kids,
kid.
and you were a kid.
You were a kid,
you know?
man.
So I used to let you give me you were so little. I would just climb on your shoulders and then flip over you, and you're like, yeah, I did it, and I would kick out.
And
So I wouldn't
then
let
I
you
grew up and became a Chris Jericho.
And then you grew up, and then you're like, oh, this is actually wrestling, and your humor changed, you changed. I don't know
I
what
changed
happened.
a lot.
Nothing to do with it. And then you became a huge Chris Jericho fan out of nowhere. I still don't know how that happened, but
It's because he was just an asshole.
Dude, I fucked with Chris Jericho when he first came over from WCW to the WWF. When
Y2J?
he was always shitting on Stephanie. That was the thing that I loved the most. He always used to call Stephanie a whore on live television. I always thought
That's
that
why I
shit was
do you
cool.
remember
hilarious.
the skit that he did when she went through her boob change?
Yeah.
And he was like, last month, bam. Now, bam. What happened?
Yeah, he just called her out and she was so ashamed on live television, and it's
I was like, what?
all the fans were just roaring, and then
It was so good.
There was a segment because Stephanie and Triple H were so big at one point. She was the women's champion and he was the World Wrestling Federation champion. They would come out all the time together and just shoot their promo. And at one point, I remember The Rock and Chris Jericho both came out, and they just shitted on both of them so hard. It was the most hilarious thing, and it was so charismatic. You couldn't stop. You couldn't keep your eyes off that TV. But that's when I fell in love with wrestling. Obviously, I'm not with the original WWF like back in the day with Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, the Ultimate Warrior,
yeah.
Jake the Snake,
Yup.
Vader. You had
Macho
all these
Man.
dudes, Randy Macho Man Savage. You had all those dudes. I was right after that era when the Attitude Era started with Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Chris Jericho, Triple H. Remember Ken Shamrock, dude?
Ken Shamrock.
Ken Shamrock, everybody talks about Ronda Rousey, like she's the first big star to come from
Ken Shamrock.
from WC. I'm sorry,
UFC.
UFC.
Ken
But
Shamrock.
Ken Shamrock was that dude. Ken Shamrock came from the UFC and just annihilated people. And
They built him up so hard, but they just did him dirty. He could have had so much more.
yeah,
you know?
he could have, but I think what it was is people probably didn't want to get in the ring with him, man, because even though he might have been a good wrestler in our eyes, he probably was pretty bad when it came to faking shit.
Maybe.
He might have forgotten to pull some punches, and some dudes were like, "I'm tired of wrestling that guy. I don't want to wrestle with him no more."
You take it too seriously.
This is
too hard.
This is bullshit. I have a black eye.
He's actually the way he
actually
looked
beating
at
up.
me. I looked him in the eyes. He had those crazy eyes.
And then oh man, all time favorite, Eddie Guerrero.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, rest in peace.
Viva la raza.
Yeah, R.I.P. Eddie Guerrero, man. But I remember when Eddie Guerrero wasn't anything, he was just like, he was kind of like managed by China, and they like had a romance thing, and it was just so irrelevant. But he just made it funny because of what
Before
he,
your
of what,
time?
Yeah,
what
it was
he
way
was. Yeah, this is way before your time. Just, I mean, this was back in like the mid '90s and early 2000s, and just watching these guys perform, and it wasn't PG at the time. I'm pretty sure it was PG-13 or something
TV
like
14.
or TV-14, whatever, and like their bra and panties matches were a thing.
That was a great thing.
You know what was the best part for me personally about the bra and panties matches is not only that the girls would get down to their bra and panties, but I would love to hear the commentary from Jerry
King Lawler. Puppies! Puppies!
That shit would make me laugh.
My
He
favorite
can't
part.
do that anymore.
My favorite part of that was Trish Stratus.
Yeah,
Easily.
facts.
To this day, she's still one of my favorites. I don't even care. You know? So you started watching wrestling around that time then?
Yeah, that's when I started watching wrestling. Around that time, the dudes at school is what put me on it. Like back in the day in the Bronx, you didn't watch much besides the Yankees, and my dad's Peruvian, I'm Peruvian, so like all I really got to watch on TV was soccer and whatever he wanted to watch. But when my boys put me onto wrestling and watching anything else other than Yankees games, I was all about it. And like back in the day, we had the black cable box that gave you all free cable. We used to I used to make my dad watch the pay-per-views with me, and I would just watch it. My dad would always be like, "You know that shit's fake, right?" And like, I don't care. That shit's dope.
Wow.
I was like, "Dad, maybe the pay-per-views are real and just the regular shows are fake."
Trying to
I
justify
remember that
it.
argument,
Didn't
yeah.
matter. I just wanted to watch them, but like so many times The Rock being put over, and nobody remembers, but The Rock really started out like when he first started getting famous was when he was a heel. He was
Nation of
Nation of
Domination.
Nation of Domination. He was a heel, and then like
Domination.
all of a sudden his rep just picked up. He went from Rocky Maivia to Rocky, and then The Rock. The Rock says,
I remember when it was WrestleMania 14. He went up against Triple H, and I can't remember exactly, but I just remember at the end of the match, Farouk like abandoned him.
"Yep."
You know. So, and then that's like when it started like disbanding, and where Farouk was the leader, he wasn't the leader anymore. The Rock became the leader of Nation Domination. That's what really started to build him up from there, you know. But I started watching like way before that. Like I started watching when Shawn Michaels and Diesel were like, or Kevin Nash.
Yeah, you guys had all the VHS tapes, you and Sean.
Yep.
I still have them.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah.
Yeah, when Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart would feud, Diesel and Shawn Michaels were like a team
Bret
before he
Hart
went to
and
WCW.
Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, and Shawn Michaels went from number 1 in the Royal Rumble and won all the way. Finished it, went to WrestleMania, won the championship title before the Attitude Era when he lost it to Stone Cold. But like around that time, you know, when it was starting to slowly shift from the Hulk Hogan days, you know, and all the way to the Attitude, you know, that hiatus in between, that's when I started watching.
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard to rank a lot of those guys, thinking back on it now, because I can't say that Stone Cold Steve Austin was the best. I can't say that
No.
The Rock was the best.
No.
I can't say that Triple H was the best.
They were one of the best entertainers.
Because their characters were just great. Their characters were unforgettable. They're like...
And that's WWE. It's entertainment. So it's just
entertainment, yeah.
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 Whereas like
Can't agree more.
you have dudes that went through so many gimmicks before they got theirs. And like even Triple H came in as Hunter Hearst Helmsley. And his
Stone Cold was someone else before he
Yeah,
became Stone
he
Cold.
was.
I'm pretty sure he was like dashing Steve Austin at
And he
one
had
point.
I think you're
hair.
right.
And he had blonde hair, then he
hated it.
shaved it
Yep.
all off. He won the King of the Ring, and he was like, Austin 316 just
gonna-
said, I whooped your ass.
And then it all changed.
It all
36.
changed, and he was just the rattlesnake. He was badass coming in with the glasses set, Austin 316, and then bam,
Flipping
shatter.
people off and everything. He was a great entertainer. Like maybe not the best wrestler, like you were saying. I mean, think about it. His finisher was the Stone Cold Stunner. It
They
was fun.
sold it so well.
It was
Everyone
so
loved
fun.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
Who was the people that you love, like who gets stunned? and then they sell
and
it
then
so
they just
well.
flip it like The Rock.
Yeah. Who are some of your other favorite ones?
Who was it most recently when it wasn't Stone Cold, but Kevin Owens gave someone this
Kevin
stunner.
It was.
Owens.
I know exactly who you're talking about. It was Buddy Murphy. Buddy Murphy sold
Yeah,
that
he sold that so good.
He sold that so good. He
I don't know
essentially-
what happened.
He essentially did a backflip. And
That
he
was so
sold
funny.
I was like, oh my god.
That's like the best part of the stunner is when they just flip it like crazy.
Yeah.
Like that's awesome.
Because it probably doesn't hurt.
No,
So
like what
when
is it
it's just
supposed
like,
to be?
I mean, I'm sure it could.
I mean, if you're
Imagine
falling into it, but like most people just bow
And then
down
jump
with
up.
it and then jump backwards.
Yeah, but it's essentially a sitting RKO.
yeah. Like
But-
an RKO would hurt.
But no, because
real
a stunner could too. Because if you gotta think about it, I mean, if I'm holding your head right here, let's say I'm holding your head down and I got your chin on my collarbone. When I come down, it's gonna push your jaw
That's
back.
true.
That could hurt, bro.
If you're like squeezing it real hard,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
the point.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm
executing on that perfectly, it would be real difficult in real life.
I guess what I'm trying to say is that it may be fake and it may look hilarious, but that shit could really hurt you.
Yeah, it could. I mean,
A lot
you
of moves
see-
can.
If I wanted to
Yeah.
hurt you, I hurt you, Justin.
Do it on camera.
Damn it.
Damn it. But yeah, a lot of the moves are like when people are jumping off ladders and all that. Like that's not fake. Like
No.
when you're landing, like that hurts.
Mm-mm.
You see all the scars a lot of the time, like with Daniel Bryan. Like
Oh my god, I remember I saw a picture recently of a guy that did like a chop challenge and he just took all these chops right to the chest, bare chested, and it was just awful. You could see the outline of people's
Oof.
fingers on his chest and it just looked like raw flesh.
Ouch.
Awful. Awful.
Ouch.
yeah, chops hurt.
I've been chopped. Back when I was 18, a long time ago. No, I think it was 17, maybe. I don't know. Around that time, we were doing backyard wrestling, and we had this trampoline in the backyard, and we would use that as our ring. And then we have entrances and Christmas lights to like make like the runway, whatever. Brian would drive Ryan in his car into the back because he was supposed to be JBL. And he had like and then Ryan would claim that he's a wrestling god.
Oh
But-
god, Taco Bell.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I was the showstopper, and Matt was the chosen one. But like we would have like matches, and it was awesome. But there were some times where like Matt would chop me, and we would actually hit each other. Like he chopped me, I chop him back, and it doesn't feel good.
It does not feel good.
And I had a shirt on because back in the day, like I had all bones, hardly any muscle. I was starting to build it at the time. That was a long time ago, But we did a lot of stuff back then, and we'd actually like we wouldn't punch each other for real, but like we would actually like hit our hand, but it looks so good. But when you put your hand on someone's face and punch your hand, you're gonna feel the shock absorption through it. So it still didn't feel too good.
That's fair because when I did boxing and somebody would punch me, even though I would block it, my fist would still hit me. So it is not fun. I didn't do any like backyard wrestling
We
because
did all the time.
I mean I lived in New York, so we didn't really have backyards. We just had like the front of our building, and then we didn't go to the back of our building because that's where the crackheads would hang out, and that's where you go if you wanted
That's
to be
smart.
abducted. So
You would
Well-
you would have to be actually wrestling for your life.
fair enough.
Yeah.
Kicking shit, man.
It's
Kick some
realistic.
dude in the nuts, running away.
Speaking of kicking,
Stranger
one of my-
danger,
one
stranger
of my
danger.
favorite moments of backyard wrestling was an exhibition match, not on camera. I wish I still had those tapes. They're somewhere. I don't know where they are. I think Mason has them. But
Yeah.
I did a Sweet Chin Music to Ryan. You know how tall that guy is.
Yeah.
So Ryan Davis Taco Bell. So Sweet Chin Music hit him right in the mouth, and he actually like bit his lip, and my foot hit him in the mouth too. So he was bleeding, like legit bleeding. And I was like, I can't believe I just hit you up there. Like I'm short, he's tall. I was like that was awesome.
It's impressive.
Yeah, it was impressive.
He is a big dude.
Yeah.
Oh, those are fun. We had exhibition matches all the time. All the time.
I guess, when I fell in love with football? I fell in love with football when I actually played it. Because, like, you talking about backyard wrestling, me and the guys in, like, elementary school, we would stay after school, after everybody left, and we would have like a giant playground. It was all concrete though, so it's not like we had like dirt and grass. It was all concrete, and we would just run routes, throw the ball, and somebody would try to intercept the ball or block the ball from being catched, and that's what I would do. But the sad part about those stories is that that's what I was doing when I was supposed to be in a reading program. And when my dad found out that I was skipping the reading program to go play football, I got my ass whooped so bad. For all you people out there that say, "Oh, that's awful," it wasn't, because I probably deserved it. I mean, I deserved it. It's pretty fair.
It was different times back then.
Yeah,
they were trying.
This was back in the '90s, so like,
it was happening.
It was happening.
I got beat too.
I mean, Justin probably didn't get beat up too bad.
I get beat up by everyone else.
Yeah.
To this day,
we beat him up now. To
Off camera.
Help for lost times.
Call 911.
It's like, put him in the witness protection program.
Yeah, I started watching football when I was 10, when this guy was introducing me to football, but I didn't know he was a Cowboys fan. So
Sure
I was
was,
watching
and
all the
still am.
local television, which was the New England Patriots, and that was the year before they went undefeated. So that was like the year when they went up against the Colts in the AFC Championship and lost, and I was like, oh, damn it, dude.
Wow, dude.
He was like 10 years old, cursing up a storm.
And to this day.
Imagine if you did watch the Cowboys back then with me.
I would have been a Cowboys fan.
That's
If I knew you were a
crazy.
Cowboys fan, I would have been a Cowboys fan.
That's crazy.
Because I was young.
I'm only a Jets fan because my uncle made me watch the Jets when I was a little kid, and he gave me a Vinny Testaverde jersey. I have no idea where it is now, but it was like
Probably doesn't fit.
Well,
no. But it was so dope though. Like, it was like a special edition jersey. It wasn't like the regular Jets jersey. It was dope. That's all I could say. It said New York Jets right on it.
Interesting.
But yeah, that's when I started watching the Jets, and then like I had to deal with all the years of my team just being awful. I had one all right year with Brett Favre when he was there. We went 10-6, and then 2 AFC championships back to back, just to deal with losing at the AFC championship. But the one thing that I can say is that one of those 2 years we beat the Patriots in the playoffs with Tom Brady as their quarterback. So you know what?
I remember that.
That was an upsetting day.
That's like winning a Super
Yeah.
Bowl for a New York Jets fan. I don't care what nobody says.
And then Mark Sanchez butt fumbled.
And then he butt
He
fumbled.
butt fumbled.
And that's when it all went downhill.
To be fair, though, I hated Rex Ryan the moment we hired him. I didn't like his attitude. I didn't like his demeanor. And I didn't like him saying that we were going to be the shit when I knew we didn't have enough pieces to be what he claimed us to be.
He's a analyst now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's an analyst now. Nobody wants him to be a coach. I mean,
He's a Bills coach
I
before
can't
that.
believe that the Cowboys had Jason Garrett for so long, and then he gets hired to be an offensive coordinator for the Giants. I feel bad for all Giants fans.
Oh, they have Joe Judge. The quarterback coach for the Patriots.
I'm
no,
sorry.
he's a wide receiver
Oh,
coach.
wide receiver coach. Yeah, you're right.
I call him a bandwagon Patriots fan all the time. He didn't even know that he knew the guy's name. He didn't even know he was the wide receiver coach.
I knew he was one of the coaches. And he was one of the coaches.
Hey, I'm pretty happy that we got Mike McCarthy, though. So
I mean,
I'm
it's
pretty
bad
proud.
enough that he's a Cowboys fan.
What's that supposed to mean?
I mean, next to Patriots fans, you guys are probably the worst fan base
No,
in
absolutely
all
not.
of America.
We are America's team.
You guys haven't been America's team since Tom Brady
We are
won his 6th Super
Still
Bowl
America's
ring.
team. Still America's team. You could do like that picture. If I could find it, I would show you. Maybe I'll like bloop, put it up there somewhere, during post production or whatever. But that picture where it says like most fans or whatever, and it has like a United States, and then like every single team is on there. Cowboys fans cover most of America compared to the other teams. Now New England's up there. They are up there.
Well, they're
They've
going to
done
go
a lot of
down now
things.
with Tom Brady.
Probably going to go downhill, yeah. But in my opinion, I think the worst fans are Eagles fans. So, yeah. And I know plenty of you. And if you're listening to this, I stand my ground. Specifically you. You know who you are. And you. Both of you. You're both related.
Eagles fans are alright by me.
I personally have no problem with Eagles fans.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with Eagles
I've
fans.
seen how they are with Sal.
Well, they come at me hot.
I get why he doesn't like Eagles fans because they're in the same division.
No, I like Beagles fans because my dog's a beagle.
I personally, I think the worst fan base in my opinion, but that's just because of most of my best friends are the Giants because they're all Giants fans.
Can't stand them either.
And
Same
their
division.
argument every time is the 2 Super Bowls. So I hear that all the time, and I absolutely hate it.
Well, I mean, they did stop your undefeated season.
Which is true, but it was back in the day.
I'm not gonna
They
lie.
suck now.
I was rooting for the Giants in that Super Bowl because
Which
I
is
wanted
fine.
to see that. I wanted to see the Patriots lose.
I
Never forget.
always root for the New York team regardless. But when the New York teams that I root for, if they go up against my Jets, I'm rooting for my Jets. I don't care if we lose. That's my team. But like when the Giants made it to the Super Bowl, I was all Giants the whole time. Did I go out and buy a Giants jersey? No, absolutely not. But I was cheering for them. I don't care if you call me a bandwagon fan. I don't
Bandwagon.
I don't cheer for them the whole
It's like-
season.
It's like we had that telepathic moment where I'm just like, do it.
But that's legit. I was so hyped when the Patriots lost. What's funny is that my dad is such a big hater of the Patriots because of Tom Brady. I always look at him, I'm like, you're so full of shit because when the Patriots played the Eagles in the Super Bowl with Donovan McNabb, my dad was cheering for the Patriots at the time.
Oh,
and I
really?
don't know why.
Yeah, weird. I'm just always cheering against the Eagles because I can't stand the Eagles.
Didn't grow up during that.
I don't remember
just-
where I was.
I
during that
witnessed
game,
the
too.
first 2 Super Bowl losses, and I will never forget David Tyree's catch. Never forget. Or Mario Manningham.
You know, actually, like I was watching one of those like all-time greatest plays or catches or something, and surprisingly enough, both of them were on there. You know, shocking, but the one where I think it was David Tyree caught it on his helmet, and Mario Manningham had caught it on the sideline.
He caught on the sideline.
Right.
That
The
catch was ridiculous.
sideline
Both those
one,
catches were
they're both ridiculous, but I feel like the sideline one wasn't as, oh my god, as David Tyree's helmet.
Yeah, because David Tyree, if he didn't catch it, that would have been game.
That would have been game. Right. So I feel like that should have been, you know, higher on the list. You know, better. But it was the reverse on the list I was watching. The Mario Manningham one, when he caught it on the sideline. And I was like, why? Why? I don't get it.
I personally get it. I don't like the helmet catch because I feel like that was I can't with good conscience say that I would have called that a catch because I don't feel that he had control of the ball even though he had it pinned against his helmet. Like I feel like that was ridiculous to me. Just like all Cowboys fans that say Dez caught it, he didn't catch it. But that's regardless of the point. The Mario
For you listeners right now, if you're listening to this audio instead of watching it currently, I have this really disgusted look on my face. Manny's an asshole.
Fair enough.
Des caught it. Mike McCarthy admits it now.
Oh yeah, he's the catch.
Oh yeah, that's right. He was.
Technically, it was a catch, you know, but by rule, it was a catch.
But the Mario Manningham catch and the sideline, that was sick. And the only catch that I could compare that to is the ridiculous catches that Chad Johnson used to make in the sidelines. Remember the ones where literally only his tippy toes would be on the grass and before going out of bounds, and he just controls the ball and catches it. Like that would be ridiculous. That's how I saw the Mario Manningham catch. That's why I would put it over the helmet catch.
And what was almost worse was the Jermaine Kearse catch. That would have been terrible, but luckily Malcolm Butler made that interception. If they ended up scoring, that probably would have been higher on my list. Because I still wouldn't have seen the Patriots win a Super Bowl at that time. Because that was the first Super Bowl I ever saw them win was against the Seahawks.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's okay. I saw my Cowboys win a Super Bowl in my lifetime. If they don't ever make it to the Super Bowl again in my lifetime, I will be very disappointed, but at least I could say my first ever NFL game, they won.
I'm just happy I got to see Tom Brady play.
Same. Last
Yeah.
year. We got to win. It was really
I mean,
cool.
I'm happy I got to experience greatness. A lot of people will say that I'm a fake Jets fan because I'm about to say this, but I will wholeheartedly say that Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time.
I'm such a fake Jets fan.
Tom Brady is ridiculous. Tom Brady is that dude that I don't care what you say. If he has to go down the whole field and you give him a minute and 30 seconds, you lost that game, my friend.
Have you seen the movie The Other Guys?
Yeah, there you
Yes.
Nope, it wasn't The Other Guys, but also that was a good movie.
Yes,
It
it
was Ted 2.
go.
Yeah.
I didn't see Ted
I was about to say,
I mean, Mark Wahlberg.
the other guys, it was Derek Jeter.
It was Derek Jeter, yeah, no, but Ted 2 when they
Cowboys
snuck
fans.
in Tom Brady's house.
Yeah.
Hey, I was thinking Mark Wahlberg.
Oh yeah, I saw that scene when
And they tried to like
What are you doing in my house?
jerk him off so he can
they
get
tried to trick Tom.
semen.
Oh my god.
That's hilarious. I didn't see the movie, but I saw that scene.
I saw that scene too. I didn't see the whole movie. But
I was like, what the?
all right, I think this is a good point where we wrap up. You know, we're about to hit the hour mark. Keep it around that. So, but yeah, I mean, thank you guys for listening. We really appreciate it. Like, definitely give us some feedback. Let us know if there's anything you want to talk about, if you want to be part of the show, you know, or anything like that. And, you know, hit us up. So I'm at SalStyles87 on Twitter and Instagram.
Manny Beeson on Instagram, Manny Beeson _ on Twitter. Yeah, I mean, I know the show's pretty much all over the place right now because this is the first taping that we've done. It was just a spur of the moment type
That's what
thing.
it's going to be.
Talk it
And
up.
I think it went great.
Me too.
Personally, like we were jumping all over the place, but it was
Dude, it's
really
fine.
good conversation.
Yeah.
We didn't stop.
Yeah.
Other
and
than a little
don't worry
break
about
for-
Justin. His plugins don't matter.
So at JD Angel _ on Instagram and I think JD Angel Los on Twitter.
I think he changed it.
I might have changed that. I forget my Twitter. I mainly just use Instagram.
Let's look it up.
Plug it in.
Let's look it up. Aries the Pit.
Oh yeah,
Instagram.
Aries has her
Yeah.
own Instagram page. Aries _ the pit. Well, Aries
Aries.
_ the _ pit. You're a good girl.
You don't even know
I don't
what
even
you-
show up. That's messed up.
She thinks she's a lap dog.
Try at JD Angel _
JD Angel _
Just
you
try
have
Justin
it.
Ian.
You're on my followers.
Yeah.
This
I
is
just barely
where
use
we
it.
edit it.
JD Angel.
Okay, it is JD Angel.
Be nice, bud.
But I barely use it.
And then, talking about dogs, hit up my dog, Good Boy Shiloh. You know, good _ boy.
Good Boy
_ Shiloh _ on Instagram. Or Good Boy Shiloh on TikTok. You know, if you like some
Oh,
nice,
yeah.
fun dog posts.
I also have a TikTok.
Yeah,
I believe that's
SalStyles87.
JD Angel _
All right, guys. Calling it out.
Peace.
We need a good sign off.